Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, let's get this bad boy started. We're gonna do a quick sound check here, really fast. Make sure the everything's working. You guys, let me know. We're again, I'm using kind of different software here, so no idea if you guys can actually hear me right now. I think you can. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Shout out to Patreon supporters for helping this thing go. Again, make sure you guys tell me if you can hear me, if the sound is okay, doing something a little bit different, using StreamYard, and I'm also using some other stuff. So if you guys would, again, just let me know that you can hear me and everything's good. Sounds good. All right, there you go. Todd says it's good. We're good to go. That's all I need. Todd says we're good. Thank you, Todd. Okay. I'm going to make sure we get the like, share, subscribe stuff out of the way. Yeah, let's do that. Like the stream, share the content. If you're new here, subscribe. It's no surprise. We still have people who, I don't know if they're new to the channel, to the show, but they still bitch and moan about the time that it takes to get, to where we're going on the show. Keep in mind, I run this like a radio broadcast. I get the ads out of the way in the beginning, right? That way you guys have exposure to my sponsors. And then I interact with chat. Again, this is for the new people. I interact with chat, let you guys kind of feel like you're a part of the show, because you're a part of the show. I mean, my gosh, I put my Patreon supporters' names at the beginning. That's what you guys see there, right? So let's go ahead and get the sponsors. See, I'm trying to hustle a little bit. Trying to get these out of the way for the people that bitch and moan about the intros taking too long. Same days, I'm getting ahead of myself. Same day services, emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes. Who's that? That's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. That's who. That's what they offer. That's their services. Better than best results. Give them a call today. 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Apex Tattoo Studio. You want to get some ink done? Hey, 615 West Oak Street, right there in Rogers. They'll hook you up. Give them a call today, 479-278-2694. And of course, big shout out to our newest sponsor, the Odd Soul Bar and Pizzaria, home of some fantastic pies and whatever you want on tap. A lot of local stuff. They've got the hookup. Again, that's the Odd Soul, located on Emma Street, right there, 10 minutes down the road from my house here in Springdale, close to where my kids go to school. It's like I could drop them off, go do some stuff around town, and then maybe in the afternoon I can go back and pick up a beer and pick up a pie, right? Now, Mondays, they don't open till 4 p.m., just a heads up. Mondays, they do not open up till 4 p.m. So shout out to Nick and his staff. Arkansas taking on KU. Wanted to do this. I kind of had planned on it, but not really. I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to do a pregame because I'm already doing the postgame on Hogville. That will be Otis Kirk, Dudley Dawson, and I. That'll be my final show with Hogville. Right now, that'll be the final show. That'll be it that I'm doing for them. I'm leaving Hogville and going completely independent. I'm gonna listen. You start a small business, and that's what I have here. I have an LLC, Pig Trail Media LLC, trying to grow trying to grow this into something. And we're so close to 1 million total views. You guys have no idea how hard I've been busting my ass. Well, no, a lot of you do. A lot of you who've been around for a while know. But I've been busting my ass trying to get there. All right. This is Kansas's Super Bowl, says 80s Rocker. All right, now listen, if you want to get in, you want to call in, here's the link. If you guys want to call in, I don't know that it's their Super Bowl. I don't know if I'd go that far or not. I'm not sure I'm willing to say it's their Super Bowl necessarily. but I do think it means a hell of a lot. I think that's very clear. They haven't been to a bowl game in over a decade. We know that means a hell of a lot for these guys. If you don't know, I have already put my prediction out in our Discord, and I did it today on Twitter. I do have Kansas winning this game, but I want you guys, listen, I want you to call in. I'm not going to give you my complete reasoning. It's pretty much out there on Twitter. Some of it, I got some more thoughts and some more things going on with this bowl game, but I don't like Arkansas's chances here. I don't like the odds, I should say. I don't like their chances. Here's something else I'll say. I think at full strength, both teams at full strength, fully healthy. Of course, then you'd have to throw Cattle on in the picture, right? If we're talking about like let's say it's a mid-season grind, and you come up against KU, whether it's in their backyard, neutral site, or in Fayetteville, I think Arkansas wins that game probably 7 times out of 10. I think Arkansas is a better football team, fully at full strength with everything in place. I think they're a better football team. They were wildly inconsistent. I will say that. We have someone here, Dr. C. Oh boy, gonna have to remove that overlay. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, Ty?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Perfect.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, my predictions for the game, I think I'm kind of with you, but I think it's going to be close. I think Kansas is going to lead most of the game, but I think the Hogs will take it over just because of better players. Even though, my main concern is the defense, because of the defensive coordinator. What are you most concerned of?
Well, partly their quarterback is back. He's healthy. I know he played in their final 2 games. But that dude Arkansas has had a habit of making really average quarterbacks look really good. So that's a concern, having that guy back. Not having, 2 5-stars on the field in Drew Sanders and Jaden Hazelwood. Not having Katron Jackson, even though he didn't contribute much, he still could have been a huge option in this game. Trey Knox, say what you want about him being underutilized. I agree, but that's still a guy that started tight end how many games? 11 out of 12 games this year, 10 out of 12. That's a guy with a lot of experience and know-how. Not a great blocker, but a really decent check down target. I don't know why he wasn't a bigger part of the offense this year, but that's going to have a little bit of an impact. I could go on and on. I do feel a little bit better, ironically, about the secondary in terms of just they're healthy and everyone's there. There's no missing pieces. Do I think they still get shredded? Probably. I think KU's offense, it's a Big 12 offense, right? That's something else to talk about against Arkansas's kind of hot and cold defense, mostly cold defense. I don't know, man. It's concerning. A lot of missing pieces.
One thing, I haven't really watched much of Kansas, which I wish I had. Now, they are undefeated with this quarterback. They were undefeated until he went down.
He's 5-0. Yeah, they were 5-0.
5-0 until he got hurt. But I heard that they run kind of a spread option. Have we seen anything like that?
I don't know who to relate their offense to, really. You could probably toss in I don't know. They kind of run a little bit more. I think it's mixed, but maybe there is some spread option in there. I'm like you. I have not watched a lot of KU football. I watched highlights to try to get caught up. I've been trying to get prepared for basketball so much I've almost forgotten about this bowl game, if I'm being completely honest. That's not the right way to put it. Haven't completely forgotten about it, but it's been on the back burner, right? I'm getting geared up for basketball. The bowl games, as excited I am that Arkansas is in a bowl game, they still just feel a little less meaningful these days, and that's a whole different subject. But they are a high-powered offense. When they really get going, this is a team that can score. I think they can score 38 on Arkansas's defense, especially without Drew Sanders and Bumper Pool, right? I do have high hopes for these young guys. Is Jordan Crook going to come in and fill the role, and Christopher Pooh-Paul, both these guys going to fill in the roles of Drew Sanders and Bumper Pool? I think Christopher Pooh-Paul's capable, but yeah, it's something we're going to have to keep an eye on is linebacker play in this game, a little bit of misdirection. KU will I think they'll throw the kitchen sink, and it wouldn't even surprise me if they do some stuff that we haven't seen, even though we don't have Barry Odom at DC. Wouldn't shock me if they try to throw off this young Michael Schur and doing some stuff that they haven't really shown on film.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I don't know why this feels like playing like at the level of, like if I was to think of a team about the level, I would think Missouri. And maybe Missouri's a little better, but about that level, Is that fair to say? Or who would you compare it to?
No, Missouri's not a bad comparison. It's just on different sides of the ball, right? KU is far better on offense than Missouri ever was. Now, then, like, you could start up the debate, well, what about who the hell has Kansas played, right? And they're in the Big 12. They gave TCU a ball game. I think they lost that game 38-31, if I remember right. And I'll be honest with you, I think as much as I'm cheering for TCU, I think they're going to get shellacked in the playoffs because I'm not sure the Big 12 belongs in the playoffs, if I'm being completely honest. But KU, I think that's a good comparison, but for different reasons, right? Mizzou's defense is pretty salty. KU's defense is atrocious. They're one of the worst defenses in the Big 12, which makes you feel a little bit better, but then you have to think about, okay, well, we don't have Ricky Stromberg, who's a key component to that run game, by the way. We don't really know what's going on at certain positions, like at wide receiver. I don't really know what the expectations are. Thank goodness Matt Landers is playing. I think Matt Landers is going to have a ball game, but I don't think I think the Mizzou-Kansas comparison is fair for different reasons.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll let someone else call, but I'm saying Arkansas is going to be behind most of the game, comebacks and wins a high-scoring game.
Okay.
I think defense is going to be optional. All right.
I think you're probably
all right. Thanks for taking my call. Bye.
Appreciate it, man. The link is provided for you guys down below. Or not down below. It's provided for you in chat, actually. Let's get that banner back up. See, this is the tricky part about StreamYard. There we go. There it is. When I get a call, I have to remember to click that off. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Just kind of talking about or comparing the two teams in different ways. They present completely different challenges. Arkansas and KU, Mizzou and KU. Ironically, these are two rivals, Mizzou and Kansas, that we're talking about. Got Dalton Wagner playing. You do have Wagner back, and that is a big deal. That is a huge deal, actually. If you saw how behind Tykees Crawford is at tackle, that's a big deal to get Dalton Wagner back. That's a huge deal. The link, again, it's shared in the comment section. I've also got it in hang on here. Let me type this out. Call in link above. I'm going to tag lurkers on this one. There we go. See if we'll get a lurker in here. We don't get very many. Actually, I feel like we do get several lurkers in here. Lurkers are more likely to call. Isn't that interesting? Lurkers are more likely to call in than they are to actually be active in Discord. Rocket Sanders, 200-plus game incoming. Yeah, not Trey Biddy and I. Dudley Dawson. Dudley Dawson and I talked about this on Hogville. We were discussing what to expect from KJ Jefferson, and yeah, I think KJ is going to have a big game. It's going to happen on the ground. We got another caller. Here we go. Austin, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just got off of work, just now chilling, waiting for the game to start. My kind of thought on the game today is more of let's see what's going to happen for next year. Yeah, we don't have but half of a roster, but let's see what these young guys can do because, I think we can still pull out the win, but if we see those guys get out there, fight, and even if it's not a win and they just at least keep it close, I think I'm going to be happy as the future. Because, Kansas is scrappy. They're not going to come in and lay down. Yeah. And you also have the mark of the SEC on your back, too, because everybody's going to fight after that. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. Someone asked Stephen 1383 says, is there any pressure for either team going into this game? If so, who has the most pressure? And I think what you just mentioned about the SEC being on your on the back of your helmet and on your pads on your jersey, that also provides a little bit of pressure because it doesn't matter who you play, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, a group of 5, it doesn't matter. When you have that SEC patch on your shoulder or on the back of your helmet, there's a little bit of pressure because the expectation is the SEC wins bowl games. I also believe the era of debating about who the best conference is and using bowl games as an example is a piss poor example now. It's not a good example. Your better way of measuring, I guess, now it's going to have to just be it's all hypothetical. Because with bowl games, well, you have all these opt-outs. I mean, Penn State last year against Arkansas, my God. I mean, they had how many starters off the defense? I mean, that were out in that game. Their two best players on defense were opted out. They had guys on the offensive side of the ball, and Arkansas had Treylon Burks. But I would still argue that Penn State had a healthy amount of opt-outs. I wonder what that game would have looked like had both teams been at full strength. But we won't ever know. So I think for that reason, I don't know that I look at like the Big 12 is what? They're 0-2, right? Are they 0-2? I haven't actually checked bowl scores. Maybe I need to do that next. But the Big 12 is not off to a very good start, but I'm not going to dare hold that against them. Oklahoma State had so many opt-outs, and they still gave Wisconsin a pretty good game. I watched that last night. That was actually looked like Oklahoma State was going to come back. But, yeah, I think there's going to be pressure on Arkansas, but I think Kansas has the excitement level and what else to play for, right? Other than if you lose this game, you now have a losing schedule. Maybe there's that part of it. Well, you got anything else for me, Austin? We've got Mr. Hawes on the line, too.
I will step aside and let Hawes talk all his not knowing shit about football.
Oh, no. Shots fired. Shots fired. Oh, no. What's up, Hawes? What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Not
He's
much.
right. I don't know shit about football.
You don't know shit about football.
Really don't. Here's my big issue right now.
Okay.
We're missing 3 starters on offense.
Mm.
Hazelwood, Knox, and Ricky. We're missing 2 key contributors on defense.
Yeah.
If you can't send 22 guys on that field that can stop Kansas, we have bigger issues.
Mm. Okay, I hear you, but we got to remember you're going to have a couple of freshmen at linebacker. You're going to have 2 freshmen at linebacker. Like that, I think that does matter.
At least one of those freshmen got some quality playing time this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have absolute faith that Paul can do whatever he's got to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's all it can be. But I still think we take this game by 2 scores.
So you think Arkansas beats the hell out of you? Did you say 3 scores?
2.
Oh, 2 scores. Okay. All right, 2 scores. So we've got a lot of people who think it's going to be close. Then we have a few more that believe that it's going to be a blowout.
I mean, they had the worst defense in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're bad.
If we can't run the ball on them, what business do we have being in the game? That's what we do.
I would go back and say, I don't know how many times this is something I should have done before the game. Arkansas has a number of games where they ran for 175 or more and they still lost. It's like the rest of I would argue some of that's on KB. His offense is wildly inconsistent and the defense just being piss poor, especially the first 7 games of the year, being horrible. It's everything else around it. Like, yeah, I think they'll run the ball. I do. I think they're going to have great success running the ball. I don't care if KU stacks the box or not. I think they're still going to find a way. How many yards? I don't know. I'd be surprised if they don't get at least $120, 150 with KU stacking the box. The question then is, okay, what's going on at wide receiver? What do we expect from the young guys who did not contribute at all?
That's a big concern there. But luckily we got Landers. That's going to be our big contributing piece in that receiver room. And maybe these youngsters get out on the field and they surprise us. Yeah,
absolutely. Anything can happen. And that's what makes this game. That's what I do think bowl games are easier now to predict. I think they are. This is I've been doing bowl pick'ems for years. This is the last 2 years have been the easiest years for me to pick bowls because opt-outs and portal. stuff. It's just easy. You look at a team, oh, well, look at all these opt-outs. Look at all these guys, first, second, third round draft picks that are leaving. Okay, well, I'm going to take the other team. Or coaching changes, right? Those have always been two things. I didn't do a shit ton of homework on these teams, but I did a fair amount. And, again, I'm off to a pretty good start on my bowl pick'ems this year. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. And it's because it's so predictable. College bowl games are predictable. They've gotten more predictable, and that's also what's losing. I think that's part of what's going on too with bowl games, losing their sense of excitement from fans. But anyways, again,
This game's going to show us our deficiencies that we got to definitely fix in spring ball. It's spring ball part 1.
exactly. And that was going to be the next part of this that I talk about. I appreciate you, Haas.
All right, man.
Thanks, man. I had kind of a hard time hearing him a little bit there. I had to keep turning my speaker up. Yeah. So he brought up a really good point. It was something I was going to segue to. I still think this is a pretty big bowl. I think it's a big bowl game for both teams. It is, and he's right. It's spring game number 1. That's exactly what it is. Okay. It's also, it might be a little, it is a little bit more than that, because if you lose this game, you fall to 6-7. You've now had a losing season. That just is what it is, right? That is exactly what this is. There we go. Get those sponsors back up there. Some folks may not like that, but that's what's at stake. And I'm sure, Sam kind of cracked a joke about why can't both teams be excited. I think he's either avoiding the point or he just, I don't know, wasn't catching on. The point is, who's more excited? It's not about whether or not Arkansas is excited to be there. I'm sure those players are. I'm sure the staff is. I know Sam is. You get an opportunity to get better. You get X amount of more practices, right? Some of these guys, it's an audition for some of these guys. Hopefully not an audition tape to go somewhere else, but that's exactly what this is. And you combine all these things together, that makes this bowl game pretty important. You win, you move on with a 7-6 record, a winning record, and then hopefully a lot of positives. It's not a case where KU just implodes. I would rather beat a team at their best than their worst, and KU's not getting Arkansas at their best. They're not. They're not getting the same product is what I'm talking about that you saw throughout 2022. Listen, in some places that might be better. I don't know. There were times when I thought, I don't know that Bumper Pool should be playing. This guy's clearly hurt. So maybe you might see great involvement by the linebackers and great play. Sup, Ty? Just getting in. What's the topic? Well, I mean, it's in the title. It's in the title, Brian. Come on, brother. Liberty Bowl pre-snap. Arkansas versus KU. Call-in show. If you guys want to get in, I'm going to keep sharing that link. What's up, Scott Painter? What's up, man? We were worried about getting beat by Kansas. Yeah, I know it. Landers will be a security blanket for KJ. He didn't have that versus Penn State last year, and that is very true. You didn't really feel as comfortable about what was going on at wide receiver going into that bowl game versus having a guy like Matt Landers, right? And that's fair. That's a fair point. We also saw Landers struggle a little bit, though. I will say that there is, kind of a double-edged sword. I hope Landers, and I think they're going to get about $150 on the ground, somewhere between $130, $150 on the ground. I think one of these receivers is going to have a pretty solid game. Someone's going to end up with, 5-6 grabs, 75, 80 yards, maybe a tutty. No, Odom is not calling the defense, and neither is Williams. Let's see. We have a chance to put points on the board if KJ gets the ball out quick and with accuracy. If not, Kansas has some talented DBs that are ball hawks and love to play the ball. Their total defense is bad. Their total defense is really bad. There's no excuse for Arkansas to rack up some yards. It's the points today. That's why I think, what was my score? 36, 28, something like that. I think Arkansas will get on the board. If KU slows you down, and if KU is able to, cause issues, preventing your run game, slowing down your run game, getting in the backfield, right? Making plays in the backfield, forcing turnovers. And this thing gets a little ugly from an offensive standpoint, whether it's close or not. You're going to be a little bit concerned, not just for this game, maybe a little bit concerned about next year. We still got the portal. We still got a ways to go. They've got pieces they can add in the portal, and they can fix some things. But yeah, no, I think they need to get on KU quick in this ball game. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, here's the problem. For Arkansas, doing the math, all right, I've got it. I've got the numbers here. Arkansas first quarter numbers. This was a trend that was ugly. Arkansas's offense was atrocious in the first quarter this year. Against Cincinnati, they had just 7 points in the opening quarter. South Carolina, 7. Missouri State, not known for great defense. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're not even group of 5. They're a little bit lower than that. They're Missouri State, for crying out loud. You had 0 points in the first quarter. You did have 14 against A&M, but then you had back-to-back goose eggs in the first quarter against Bama and Mississippi State. Now, that's not too surprising because both those teams were playing pretty good defense at the time. BYU, 7 points in the first quarter in a game that they would end up scoring 52 points in. You scored 52 points, but you couldn't put up more than 7 in the opening quarter against BYU. Auburn, who was so hot and mostly cold on defense this year, 7 points in the opening quarter. In another game where you score 40-plus points, I think it was 41, 42 points, something like that. Liberty, you had 0 points in the first quarter in a game where you would finish with 19 points, so not too shocking. LSU, 3 points in the opening quarter. Ole Miss, 14. Again, that's not bad, but you ended up scoring 42. Listen, 10 to 14 points in the opening quarter. You're going to take that all day, right? Mizzou, in a game where you had 27 points, you scored just 7 points in the opening quarter. Doing the math, breaking it down, that's 5.5 points per opening quarter. That's really bad. And this is, I think, if I remember right, Kendall had the same problem a year ago. Now, the good news is KU, their defense and what they give up in the first quarter. Tennessee Tech, they give up nothing. West Virginia, they gave up 14. At Houston, they gave up 14. Duke, they gave up 7. Iowa State, nothing. TCU, 3, which, okay, all right, but that was at home. OU, 14. Baylor, 14. Oklahoma State, 0. Okay. Texas Tech, 17 points. Texas, 14. Kansas State, 23 points in the opening quarter. They gave up right around 10 points per opening quarter. That's not good. That's the opposite. That's not a good direction you want to go in. So, in other words, you have an opportunity here to get some points on the board early. I feel like I should have made that the question for Tuss Talk Discord. How many points does Arkansas score in the opening quarter? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like two teams that are really bad in the opening quarter for different reasons are now clashing in this opening quarter, and I don't really know what to expect from either one of them. But I think it'd be nice to get double digits in the opening quarter. And listen, not everyone does that, right? Even some of the best offenses in college football kind of get off to a little bit of a slow start, but that's atrocious. 5.5 points. That's bad, man. Will it be more of a running game or a mix? Would like to see Rocket finish this game with over 100. No, I think it's going to be a run game. I think it's absolutely going to be a run. I'd be shocked if they threw the ball more than 30 times. Now, the only way I see that being the case is if they find a little bit of success throwing the ball early on. If they find success early on throwing the football, I could maybe see them stretching that out to 33, 34, maybe 35 throws. They didn't do that often this year. And also it has to be a tight game, right? Or it's got to be like KU just blows the doors off the hinges. You know, they get out to a huge lead early on, and all of a sudden Arkansas's scrambling on offense to try and make something work, and that could include throwing the football up and down the field. We've seen them. I don't know if I want to say panic, but we have seen Arkansas fall behind and Kendall kind of open the offense up a little bit. I don't remember who was that. BYU where they threw the ball like what game was that? Where they threw it like 36 times or something. Like it was What's going on? We're actually throwing the football. Which young guy are you most excited to see today? Oh, there it went. I want to be like everyone else because it's a skill position, because it's a spot where next year there could be big question marks. By the way, I was wrong about Matt Landers. I said on Hogville that he had a year of eligibility left. I was wrong. For some reason, looking at his sheet, I thought, oh, well, he's got another year. He's got the COVID year because of 4 years played. No, I was wrong. He does not have the COVID year, so he is done. That's coming from Mason Choate, who DM'd me. He was like, hey, bro, just heads up. He doesn't have that extra year. Easy mistake to make. So he doesn't have that extra year. But I want to jump on the same bandwagon, the Isaiah Centennia bandwagon. I do. I do want to see him ball out. And I am worried. I don't know if worried's the right thing to say. I'm curious about what wide receiver looks like next year for Arkansas. And seeing someone like Bryce Stevens, Isaiah Centennia, Samuel Bakke, one of these guys stand out would be huge. And I am leaning towards that, but also maybe it's a tie. I'm curious to see how these freshmen at linebacker play. I'm curious to see how well. Yeah, Pooh Paul has made some great plays this year. He also came in late in games when either the game was out of hand or whatever, right? This is going to be a game where he starts. And that's something we forget. Like he's going to be starting at the position. I don't know that I think maybe he started once this year. I could be wrong when Bumper got banged up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was more than once. Maybe it was none at all. But I feel like he started at least once. But this is for him, this is a huge game, right? You're going to be one of the few games televised. If you don't think they know that, you're wrong. They absolutely know that. They fully understand that. And it is the Liberty Bowl. Say what you want about it. Quite literally, it seems to be the toilet bowl. They're having water issues. By the way, the Liberty Bowl tweeted out that their facilities are good to go. So for anyone who's going to the game and you're watching this, you're listening to this, it sounds like concession stands are fully open. Bathrooms should be good to go. So here's to you. I always say if you're in Memphis, just be careful anyways. But you never know what the hell you're going to walk into there. And you don't know what I've not ever heard anything good about people's experiences as far as the facilities are concerned when going to the Liberty Bowl. I don't know. I've never been there. Ty, not sure if out of focus or what. I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. I think, is anyone else having issues? Not sure if you're out of focus or is it my internet? I don't know. I'm not out of focus. My camera says it's in focus. Great day for Razorback Sports. Yeah, you got Arkansas basketball tonight at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. That sucks. Tristan Turner says, I think Arkansas loses by 1 score. Too many things pointing in Kansas' direction. I hate saying it, but it's true. Yeah, I think, Scott, it might be your internet, my man. Might have to disconnect from the Wi-Fi. You look crystal clear here. Thank you. It is StreamYard. It does not go 4K. It doesn't go, in fact, it's probably 720p. So maybe that's what it is, Scott. You're out of focus after 6 beers. I don't know what to make of that comment. But I am married, sir. Oh, shit. Daniels is going to give us troubles. We suck defending mobile quarterbacks. Well, in this day and age, a lot of teams suck at defending mobile quarterbacks. But yeah, they're going to have issues with him. I think they're going to have to play in Kansas's backfield. They're going to have to be back there, no doubt. Again, if you guys want to join, we've had some callers already. We've had 3. If you guys want to join in, hey, there you go. There's the link. Yeah, OBS broadcasting. I think it broadcasts in full 4K, and I have a 4K webcam. I don't know if it's actually 4K or not, but I know StreamYard does not. You got to pay for that. And I don't know if I use StreamYard enough to justify paying that kind of money. Mizzou quarterback looked like Mike Vick the first half. Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just simply saying everyone, a lot of teams, not everyone, but a lot of teams struggle against mobile quarterbacks, given how offenses today with the RPO and the high tempo and the misdirection and all this stuff. He said you look like Teresa after. Oh no. I need a bath now. I need to take a shower. Remember to like the stream, guys. I appreciate you for those of you who've called in to the super chat. I don't know that we've had a super chat yet, but if you do super chat, thank you. It is an option for Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys as well. But yeah, make sure you I always go to the let's do diamond cutter. Make sure you diamond, which is it's the same thing as the stunner. Diamond cut the like button. Give it the old diamond cut. Do you guys watch Ric Flair? He has his documentary out on Peacock. I'm sure it's produced by WWF. Like it's WWF pro wrestling propaganda. They're not going to really challenge him on anything. I was really hoping they would ask him some tough questions like the infamous plane ride. If you have not watched Dark Side of the Ring, highly recommend you watch that. If you were kind of I've never been diehard into wrestling, but I love the business of wrestling. I love the antics outside the ring, hearing how these guys interacted. I mean, who does it? Come on, man. The NWO was a household name. And that's what I liked. Hulk, Macho Man Randy Savage before the NWO, Andre the Giant. But like when NWO came around, I was like, oh, wow, okay. I'm really interested. I played the Nintendo 64 game, me and some buddies. Love the Nintendo 64 game. You guys like seriously, even if you're just kind of a casual wrestling fan, you need to watch that Dark Side of the Ring with the plane ride. It's crazy. It's nuts. Just lurking. This is Wade Werner. Appreciate that. Hey, I love my lurkers, baby. I love my lurkers. You guys are just as important. The Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, I was never really big into Ultimate Warrior, although he had all the neon light flare and all that. Hollywood Hogan broke my heart. Oh, the NWO got so ridiculous. Then you had the black and white and the red and black, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm out. And then they were out of business, or they were bought out in, what was it, 01, 02 by the WWF. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, that's right, baby. Hey, he's in Northwest Arkansas next month. He's at the he's doing some Comic-Con thing. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'm pretty sure I saw his name on the I had that little pamphlet. I want to go meet him, man. I would totally go meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Absolutely. Ty, how will the 12-team playoff impact coaches and how they are viewed by the fan base and their job security? Well, they're highly likely to stay, right? I mean, they're more likely to stay. I mean, I feel like when there have been coaching changes for one of these playoff teams, those coaches still, I say stay. I mean, for the bowl game is what I mean. I'm sure I mean, who was it? Was it Michigan who lost? Who was that not long ago who lost a coordinator and he didn't coach in the playoffs? There's someone, and it's maybe happened more than once, but it's going to be a lot less likely that they leave. At least for that, they'll stick around. They'll take the job elsewhere. They'll either go public with it before or after the playoffs. I think it'll have a similar effect to the players that opt out and hit the portal. Hacksaw just whooped up a dude who hopped his fence. Oh, no. Did he? The guy was an intruder. Are you serious? He was held at gunpoint. What? How do I not know about this? He's a badass. I wouldn't want to mess with him, even as old as he is now. I wouldn't want to mess with that guy at all. All right, getting back to this bowl game, though, really quick. Looking at some comparisons side by side. Let's do this. KU's offense averages 400, about 30 yards less a game than Arkansas, 429 or 424 a game. On defense, they give up a little bit less than Arkansas, 451. Points per game, 34. That's not a bad place to be in, but again, they're playing Big 12 talent, not SEC talent, and not SEC defenses, right? Points allowed per game, 33.8, which also says something, right? The offenses in the Big 12 have a reputation, pretty good. Arkansas on offense, 453 yards, again, versus KU at 429. That's saying something, man. Arkansas's offense, I do think when they're at full strength and they're humming, you know what I mean? Like that offense is just humming and they're feeling it. Yeah, man, they're capable of scoring 35, 38, 40, 45. Could happen. This could be a high-scoring affair. But 453 yards per game, they give up 453. That is the definition of a 6-6 ball club right there. You want to know why? Right there. That's all you need to know. Points per game, you're at 30, just south of 31 points, and you're giving up 28. I feel like at full strength, Arkansas probably wins this game 7 out of 10 times. Bowl game or regular season, I don't care. I think they win this game 7 out of 10 times, but they're not at full strength. Again, Drew Sanders, All-American, possible first-round draft pick, out. Bumper Pool, long-time starter. A guy that when he's healthy, I think he's arguably one of the top 3, top 4 linebackers in the SEC when he's healthy in terms of production, what he can do. Is he a first-round pick? No. Is he a second-round pick? No. But he's a guy who's capable, right? He's got a high ceiling just being capable in this defense and as a starter in the SEC. Yeah, I think he's a top 3, maybe at worst top 5 linebacker in the SEC. Those two guys are out. Okay. Offense, you're without Trey Knox. Like I said earlier, it's not a huge blow when you talk about production from receiving yards, receptions. I think he had 5 touchdowns. Not a bad year for him, but not a huge participant, right? We're not talking about a Mackey Award finalist, but it's still a big blow when you talk about his experience being in this offense for as long as he has, playing the position. Not a strong blocker, so maybe we'll see. Maybe that's the difference we'll see with someone else lining up a tight end. And then, of course, Hazelwood, who I think is a bigger loss than people want to admit. Hazelwood is dynamic with that ball in his hands. I mean, yards after catch, that dude is it. And I think that's why I think he gets drafted. I don't know. He may go to the combine and just, I don't know, surprise some people. But I think he gets drafted. And one of the reasons why I think every front office and GM is going to look at what this cat can do after he has the ball in his hands. He's tough to bring down. He's got pretty good burst after the catch. Like, he can make plays. He can move upfield. And he is so difficult to bring down. He was a highly recruited wide receiver out of high school for a reason. And you don't have that on the field today. You do have Matt Landers, who I do like his size. You feel like if there's going to be some 50-50 jump balls, he should come down with them. He's had some hanging on to the ball issues this year. He's dropped some balls this year, but not a ton, but enough, right? You're missing Ricky Stromberg, the anchor of your offensive line, the anchor, right? When you talk about a pure run blocker, he's probably one of the best centers in the country in terms of a run blocker. He's a great run block center. You don't have him on the field. These are things that just worry me and why I have Arkansas losing this game. Confidence in that pick, I don't know. Maybe a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, I'm right in between, just simply because of how bad KU's defense is. How bad KU's defense really is. And that does matter. How many snaps will Washington get today? Heard good things. Yeah. Dudley Dawson seems to think that he's gonna play a role today, and he might be onto something. That's a guy who had a strong beginning to fall camp. Really thought he might end up in the 2 deep. I mean, there was a while there where it was like this dude's he's gonna compete to be in the 2 deep, and then he kind of fell off. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just that freshman, the lull, maybe not understanding the playbook fully. But now you get to play in the bowl game and not burn your red shirt. So, yeah, I think he probably plays a little bit of a role. I don't know how much. I don't know. I didn't get to go to practice. Just didn't have the time to make practice. Ty is a shot, a score safe to play for this game. Or is that a ICU? I don't know what you're talking about. ICU trip. Ty is a shot, a score safe to play for this. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry. You're going to have to I don't know what you're talking about. The real question is whether we win or lose. How are we going to be sober enough to make the basketball game? So I see Steven, I think Steven's he started drinking. He's early on this one. I know you're not doing a post game tonight. Well, I am. Oh, on the LSU game. No. Yeah, you're right. I'm not doing a post game. That'll be I will not be doing that. In fact, this will be it for Hogville. After tonight, I will be doing the next post game right here on Tuss Talk. I'm excited about that. How about I have a step backwards will this be for Sam? If we do lose, this is a really good one here by James. And how many people jump from the upcoming class? Well, first off, if you're talking about the 2023 guys, they're already signed. They can't. I mean, I don't know how that works now with the portal. That's a question for Dudley Dawson. I don't know how that works. Like after you sign, how soon can you enter the portal? That's actually a really good question. I don't know. I don't know why it's different. Why would it be any different for players that are already on campus versus players that have signed? What about the cats that are here for the next semester, the last semester of college, the freshmen? What about them? Why can't they hit the portal? I think they can. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, James. This game has so much riding on it. I don't want to set this up like, well, they lost. They're going to be terrible next year. But it does a lot for when you're talking about Sam Pittman's seat. I'm not saying they're going to fire him next year or after this game. That'd be crazy. Of course, they're not going to fire him after a loss in the Liberty Bowl. Again, they're going to spin this like, well, see, we've made 3 straight bowl games, guys. Why would we fire that? I mean, come on. 2020 should not count. I'm sorry. It just shouldn't. You won 3 games out of 10. That's not good enough to make a bowl game. They were desperate. The bowls needed teams to attend, and they just threw offers out everywhere. Let's not – I hate it when they take credit for that. I understand they have to. They should, rightfully so. It just – no, you won 3 games. Technically, you won 3. Really, you won 4. But still, that's not even half. That's not even half. Half of 10 is 5. You were still a game short if you want to give them the Auburn game. But yeah, quite a bit riding on this. Does this warm up his seat going into next year if you lose this game? Yeah, I think his seat starts to warm up just a little bit. I've been on the he's got to win 5 or more to save his job for year 5. That's where I've been at. And the more I think about it, I don't know. I think a lot could be riding on this game. You had a 500 season, which right now, that's not great. That's not sexy. You win this game, and all of a sudden your season, you're looking back and you're putting a positive spin on everything, right? We all do it. Oh, well, hell, we won the damn Liberty Bowl. We should have had KJ been healthy for LSU, which is true. Mississippi State, debatable. We should have done better against Alabama. Oh, we should have been great. Versus the other side of this, if you lose, then Cousin Elroy at the dinner table is going to be like, nah, old Pittman, nah, he ain't the man. Losing season. We should have lost to Ole Miss, even though we blew him out of the water. Should have lost to so-and-so. Should have lost, that's how this thing works. There's always a spin, right? That's what's on the line here, people. That's what's important. So Cousin Elroy can either be positive or negative at the dinner table. Why he's eating dinner, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have a job or a family. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kansas is undefeated against us in football all time. We have to win this. Are they? I thought they were. That's actually good. I don't know. I don't have that in front of me. I don't know. Sam needs to go digging in the porthole. They are. They will be digging in the porthole. Bot magnet. They will. Player transfers mid-game in place for the other team. With the way the damn portal works, Johnny, you may be on to something. Wait a minute. KJ Jefferson's now dressed out in KU colors. No, that wouldn't happen. They're 2-0. Okay. I thought Arkansas split it with them. Oh, see, now there you go. You can't be 0-for against KU. Maybe that's the next thing that Sam breaks, right? He broke the losing streak to A&M. I don't know. Like, we've played Kansas 2 times. Okay, both in the early 1900s. Still, though, you got to get that stank off you. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that stank. You got that 0-2 stank to KU. They're not known for football. I don't care that it was 1902. In my opinion, this game should have all the pressure on Sam, Bryles, and Travis coming into 7 or 8 next year. Well, I think it will. I think there will be some pressure. I think the game is I think there is. You can argue there's more pressure. Someone asked that earlier. I think there's more pressure on Arkansas, if I'm being honest. KU made a bowl game. They did it. They made a bowl game. They don't do that often. First time in over a decade. The link is in chat if you want to call in really fast. We've got a little bit of time left. I think this young team is scrappy. Paul, you're talking about Arkansas. Yeah. A lot of youth going to be on the field, a lot of new faces, guys you haven't seen or heard of. You might even see Woodard, walk-on linebacker, who certainly looks the part. That dude, he looks like a monster in his pads. I mean, that guy looks the part. We'll see if he can be the part. He might be called up today. They got nothing else to lose. Well, we have nothing to gain from national media if we win. Well, and you're not, but again, Ash, you're not looking at it. You don't. I'll tell you right now, Sam Pittman could give a shit about national media. He wants to go in, win the game, and flip the narrative. And I tell you, he cares more about what the local media has to say than anything. Believe me, I would know. Been in the same room with the guy in the media room. I can tell you right now, I think he cares more than he lets on about what the local media has to say. He wants to flip that narrative, and you do that by winning this game. And that's why it's that much more important, I think, for Sam. The question ultimately is, does he have these cats ready to play? Are they going to be pumped up? What's up, Brian Fraser?
Hey, what's up, Ty?
Uh-oh.
I'll say it first. I really didn't care about the bowl game. And I mean, if you remember our past conversations, I was like, I'm sorry, whatever. But at the end of the day, I am excited to see what these young guys can put together. I was reading an article when it was like these young guys now have more of that one-on-one time with these coaches that they wasn't getting before, more attention. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see what transpires from this. I want to get my hopes up because we are talking about Arkansas. But I believe we could win the game. But we shall see, man. But I will say my stance on as far as if I cared about the game or not have changed because I realize the significance of this game now. And just looking at everything. Yeah, like that one caller was saying, what did he say? This is what do you say? Preseason game 1 or
spring
game
2 or game 1? Spring game 1.
Spring game 1. This is for real. What's your attitude going to look like? Coming out for this game. Not only that, I've been hearing and reading about. They've been talking about energy. Okay, well, I hope we see a lot of energy and urgency. Because like you said, and everybody's been saying, Kansas is definitely going to come out with a lot of intensity because they don't really make a bowl game. This is a big deal for the KU program, and I'm pretty sure this is what Coach pitched to these people when they got there. We're going to turn KU football around. What better way to do that than to come out and smack a SEC opponent right in the mouth? Yeah. So if we lose, once again, this will just be another sad year for us Razorbacks to just crawl back under our holes and be looking up like Puss in Boots with the little eyes, hoping our next season will be better and brighter. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to jump off, brother. Good talking with you.
Appreciate it, Brian. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, it is the difference, right? I mean, you lose this game. I think there's not only is the pressure on Pittman just for the fact of coming out of a win-loss season, what that could potentially do for recruiting. That also that's on the table, but it's also creating hype and excitement for fans going into next year. Like, I'm not saying a bowl game does all that, but you go out against, I would argue KU is I don't want to say I don't know, good. Sam will say they're a good football team. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They made a bowl game. I mean, you're not a bad football team, but is it a quality opponent? And with this quarterback back, okay, I think they're a quality opponent when they have their guy back, and he's back. They weren't hit like Arkansas was. They don't have potential first-round draft picks and All-Americans and guys like Bumper Pool or Trey Knox or Hazelwood. They don't have guys like that were a big part of what they had on the field this year, not available for this game. I already did their spin for them. Like, that's going to be, I feel like that's going to be some of the spin. But then again, Sam more or less was like, no excuses, right? But yeah, I think there's definitely some weight to what he just said, what Brian just said. I think there's some accuracy to that. All of a sudden, it's like, I didn't really care about this bowl game, but now there's a little bit more writing, I feel like, for the future. That's what this bowl represents, is the future, right? That's what you feel like with the young guys getting involved, with the loss of some coaches. Unfortunately, the new guy can't coach on defense, but a whole lot of newness, and you feel like this is for the future. What will this product look like next year? Now, you still have the portal. There's going to be some major changes between now. I'm telling you right now, Arkansas is gunning after some transfers. By the way, for Patreon supporters, if you're in our Discord, you have the access. Only you have the access to the portal, to portal targets. It's called Portal Pigs, and only you guys have access to that. And it's also, there's a prediction meter where if you look at it, I give like where I'm at, where the temperature's at on a scale of 1 to 10 for these players that are in the portal. Like, for example, Terry Roberts is on there. Now, this list, I don't know if some of these guys have already committed elsewhere. I haven't checked in a couple of days. But Terry Roberts, Isaiah Johnson, Arlen Bruce, those are all 4 stars out of high school except Terry Roberts. Jake Roberts is on that list. You guys know who Jake Roberts is, the tight end that Arkansas is after. I have a meter out on that. The temperature I'm feeling. I'm going to tell you something. That's a big get. If you can go get Jake Roberts, that's a big one out of the portal. But only Patreon members have access to that page. So if you hop in there, and I know that's been accessible to everyone for a while, and you're looking for that page, it's with Patreon supporters right now. That's where that's at. So do I have access to that? You do, Travis. You should. If you don't, I'll make sure you do. Yeah, you do. You do, because I added you. You're there, Travis. I got all my tears out after that 8-10 loss. Oh, yeah. Don't take the foot off the gas on offense, says Rhett. Yeah, I agree with that. SEC is the best quality conference, and we should whoop KU. While I agree with that, you do have to take into consideration opt-outs. You do have to take under consideration the guys that have hit the portal. You have to weigh the two. And yeah, I've seen the argument, and people have hit me with this on Twitter. Well, our backups are better than their starters. Guys, experience matters. And you're going to be playing a lot of cats who don't have a lot of experience. Again, I'm not saying that means they're going to lose this game, and that's 100% the reason why. I also feel like KU, this is a big deal to them. Some of you have said this is their Super Bowl. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's a big deal for them. Absolutely. It is a huge deal for them. And they also understand if we lose, we did all this for nothing now. We now have a losing season. Arkansas understands that as well. I think both teams are going to be amped. I just feel like KU is going to be psyched. I think that's the difference between the two. I do think Arkansas is more talented. I do. Even with the backups, I think they have more talent. But I'm telling you something. There's something to be said about experience. One of the things Pete Carroll, I remember listening to him a little while back, who former USC coach, had a lot of success, turned the Trojans around. Obviously, he's in the NFL. One of the things he said is he didn't believe in redshirting players. He wanted guys to get experience because he felt like experience mattered more than just having talent on the bench. And there's something to that. He's not the only head coach or coordinator to say that. A lot of coaches feel that way. You cannot there's no substitute for experience. There's none. You either have it or you don't. You know that for anyone who has on the job site, right? Doing what I do, you gotta have experience. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing with all this equipment and getting all this stuff done and the lighting, even though my lighting kind of sucks, you can see I don't like this. You can see the reflection of my studio lighting in that chrome helmet. That's the only thing that drives me crazy. But it doesn't matter. You need experience. Experience matters. So Arkansas is going to be without a lot of that, and KU is going to have more of that. Where you don't have talent, talking about KU, they make up for with experience. It's going to be on the field. Arkansas is going to be pretty young. Now, the good news is Arkansas is going to have experience where it matters at places like running back, right tackle, Dalton Wagner, and, of course, KJ Jefferson at quarterback and Matt Landers. Nathan Bax got some time this year. Henry got a little bit involved this year at tight end. But where it matters, you do have, and that does matter. KJ and Rocket are the X factors. I would argue Kendall Briles is the X factor in this game. He's got to call a great game. Doesn't have to call a perfect game because Kansas defense is shit. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Their defense is shit. If you can't move the ball on these guys, we're going to have a serious talk about Kendall's future. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We could throw out all the excuses in the world about the receivers. While I do agree that has weight, if you can't push them around, if we have Liberty 2.0, which should not be the case, they're nowhere near as good as Liberty up front. But if it's something similar to that where you don't get push, Ricky Stromberg or no Ricky Stromberg, if you can't run the ball, if you can't establish the run game against KU, guys, we're going to have a serious talk. And it'll start with the Hogville post game, and then it'll be me making videos and turning out live content and talking about what the hell are we doing on offense and what are they doing to fix it in the portal. Is Turner coaching the tight end in this game? That's actually a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I read where they can't, where new hires weren't allowed or something. I don't know. They changed the damn rules. A 21-year-old with 2 years experience that was a 3-star in high school will most often beat a 19-year-old 5-star with no college experience. Yeah, again, I've clinged on to that ever since I heard Pete Carroll he didn't go into deep. He didn't talk about it into great detail, but listening to him talk about not wanting to redshirt players, not saying he didn't ever, but that he didn't want to redshirt players. He wanted experience. That speaks volumes. And Houston Nutt was kind of that way too. I can remember him trotting out freshmen and playing them when everyone thought, what the hell is he doing? You're going to burn his red shirt. Of course, back then you had I think it was 3. You couldn't play more than 3 games, and then you burned your red shirt. Luke Fickle coach. Yeah, well, okay. You can as an assistant, right? As an assistant, maybe you can. I don't know. I felt like someone had said the reason why the defense coordinator wasn't coaching is because he was told he couldn't or that it wasn't allowed. Maybe that was a Sam Pittman rule. I don't know, guys. I don't have all the answers. I'm pretty sure Coach B said all the new hires were just observing and learning the player systems, etc. Well, there you go. The Must Bus just ran out of gas. I don't know what that's about. I can second that experience statement. Will their excitement be too much? Because that can happen and has happened. Oh, to be too excited. I don't know. Maybe if they have a deer in headlights moment, right? Where they walk out and they're all psyched about the game, then all of a sudden Arkansas puts them on their ass, which could happen. Listen, even in this game, I feel like probably 5 times out of 10 Arkansas wins this game as is with the guy with Bumper out, Drew out, all the guys out. I think it's a coin flip. It is a coin flip game. It would not shock me. Like I said, my confidence is about a 5. And that it's probably lower, really. It's probably more like a 2. I've said all along, and I stand by this because I think the bowl picks have been pretty obvious. The teams that are affected the most with opt-outs are losing games. The teams that are losing assistants on either side of the ball, coordinators or head coaching changes, those teams you almost always pick against. Almost always. But the teams that are highly affected, by transfers, by opt-outs. Those are the teams you pick against. And Arkansas is in that category, but the difference here is just how atrocious KU's defense really is. That's kind of that's that thin line for me that makes this thing so difficult to. I said earlier it wasn't a hard pick, but the more you kind of think about it, it is a hard pick. You know, when you kind of explore these things as we talk, listening to you guys, reading some of your comments, it does kind of have me thinking, well, there's an opportunity here. But it boils down to how KU responds on offense. That's the biggest fear for me is Arkansas's situation at linebacker. I do love me some Christopher Pooh-Paul. That cat's going to ball out. Make no mistake about it. Pooh-Paul's going to have himself a ball game, I feel like. We'll see about Jordan Crook, true freshman, by the way. Pooh-Paul's a redshirt freshman. Crook is a true freshman who also had a strong fall camp and made his way onto the field this year. Pretty sure he burned his red shirt. No, that'd be a good question for Otis or Dudley. Yeah, I am live. I'm live here having a back and forth, you know, in my and just thinking about this game. But I do still feel I should say I do still think KU wins this game, but it still feels like a coin flip and anything could happen. So maybe that confidence is coming down just a little bit. Maybe I'm more at like a 3 on my pick with KU. Not making any changes. I'm sticking with KU winning this ball game. But if Arkansas comes out, has a strong opening quarter, we've seen them come out in the fourth quarter this year and just put up points, you know, but they've also had trouble putting teams away. You go back to Cincinnati, South Carolina, who at the time was not playing near at the level they were at the end of the year. Well, how about the job they did this year? Love them or hate them, you got to give Beamer some credit, man. He got South Carolina rocking and rolling. Holy crap. Pooh going to be like the one warrior on the bridge holding the entire enemy back. That's some 300. You're talking about 300, right? Where, oh my God. Leonidas goes, he throws the javelin at Xerxes. God, that's a good movie. Son of a bitch, that's a good movie. You guys ever see 300? Oh, chef's kiss. I loves it. I loves me some 300. Okay, you got a good quarterback. Yes. McAdoo, 2 interceptions incoming. We'll see. I think McAdoo could. He's had an impact. He certainly has had an impact this year. There's nobody can doubt that. Hey, sure, put a spy on their quarterback. I'm sure is very well aware of what. That is also the other thing is Scher's game planning this thing. You know, he learned under Odom. This could be the game, too, where we're coming back and we're talking in the post game like, oh, my God, the Razorback defense under Michael Scher. Maybe we should have hired Michael Scher. Remember, I said if you've exhausted all resources, just pump him up. Now, bump him up. Make him the DC. However, if they get blown out, if the defense gets blown out, then I'm gonna deny it all. I'm gonna say I didn't say any of that. If we spy all night and KJ and Sanders can get 10 yards when it's needed, might be what. Yeah. Is our boy Clark playing? Yeah, as far as I know, he's playing. He's good to go. All SEC. Where the haters at? Where you guys at? Where are they at? Where'd they go? I've been telling you guys, he's a great middle safety. He's going to be great at it. He's going to be good. He's going to be the man. He's fine. I don't know, Ty. He's too slow. Well, at corner, yeah. Yes. Like Otis and I said, he checks all the boxes, baby. He checks them all, except the one that matters quite a bit is an SEC corner, and that's speed. People telling me he ain't it, Ty. He ain't it. He ain't physical enough. Someone in chat said that. He's not physical enough. Well, he makes plays on the ball. I mean, he great open field tackler. He could strip the ball loose. He doesn't lay the lumber like Catalan, but he could certainly bring it. I say all that. He's probably going to have a bad game. Son of a bitch. I better knock on some wood. This is the one game I'm fine with KJ running it more than 12 times. I see that happening. There's another question. How many times does Arkansas run the damn ball tonight? We're hearing about 15 minutes. All right, that is going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. This was not really planned. I thought about it. I didn't put out the feelers. I do appreciate you guys. Someone arguing with me. Well, we have some good stuff going on. I'm really hoping we get some more people active. I'm probably going to do a halftime on Discord. I'm probably going to do a halftime reaction on Discord for anybody who's in the Tuss Talk Discord. If you're not, let me throw you a link here really quick before we end this thing. If you're not a member, you need to join, especially if you're a Patreon supporter, because you get access to stuff that no one else gets, including pro football focus grades. I've tried to work on that this year. So there's some stuff there. We've got Arkansas and KU comparisons on pro football focus grades. You also have access to the transfer portal targets. So I'll be trying to keep up with that for you guys, for Patreon supporters. So if you're a Patreon member, you really need to be in our Discord. And I want to continue to, to give you guys something. I know no one's asking for anything. No one has ever asked for anything, but I want to give back in some way. So I do that by not only giving you guys that front page with your names on it, and but also giving you some stuff in Patreon as well. Probably going to have some voice recordings coming up, if not this week, next week, for Patreon members as well. So shout out to you guys, of course, to the show's sponsors. Couldn't do this without them. Garage Door, or Direct Service Garage Door Company, the Odd Soul, and the Apex Tattoo Studio. Here's to a game. Last thing I'll say on it, again, I do like KU. Don't have real high confidence. It's kind of come down as we've been talking. I'm probably at like I said, a 3. A lot of things have to happen. Arkansas needs to be in that backfield. They need to establish the run, and they need to find themselves a target vertically. Downfield, they need to stretch this defense out a little bit, because over time, as KU makes adjustments and they stack the box, you need to be able to rely on somebody, whether it's a hitch route, 10-yard check down throw, crossing routes, slants going on, whatever, fade routes down the sidelines, go vertical, throw that ball over the back end of the secondary, stretch them out a little bit. They didn't do a lot of that this year. Do a little bit more here. You should find some success one way or another on offense. But yeah, KJ, I fully believe that guy's going to end up with at least 14 carries. Hopefully they continue to feed Rocket. They don't do this thing where he's on fire and then they pull him in the third quarter. No, you got to feed the monster, feed the beast, and hopefully they do that. And they take full advantage of that horrible KU run defense. All right. I'll see some of you in the halftime show. I'm going to smoke a cigar in the garage. Might go grab me some rum here really quick. Maybe I can find some eggnog, and we'll have a good time. I can't get too drunk because I got to do the post-game show with Hogville. The last thing I'll be doing with Hogville will be the post-game show tonight. That'll be it, and that'll be me, Otis Kirk, and Dudley Dawson. So one way or another, I look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys later on. I'm going to force you down. I'm going to force you to download Discord. Yes, I am. If Hogs win, Ty slams 3 beers. I got to go buy the beers. My fridge is empty. All right? Okay. Woo pig. And I'll see you guys later.